Hello guys, today I'm testing Cyberpunk's 2.0 update. And as you can see, the game looks and plays really good. I'm currently gaming at 1440p ultra-wide resolution, equipped with an RTX 4070 Ti and the most up-to-date drivers. For these tests, I'll be employing the Raytracing Overdrive preset. I'll kick things off by selecting DLSS quality with frame generation and ray reconstruction enabled. But I'm going to disable film grain because I just don't like how it makes the game look. And I'm also setting motion blur to low for the same reason. The game's visual quality is truly remarkable, and thanks to ray reconstruction, the image stability has significantly improved since the initial path tracing update was rolled out some time ago. Most of the image issues that existed back then are gone, but there is a new issue that isn't that noticeable on the video but becomes noticeable when you actually play the game and have a closer look at NPCs. It's kinda like the ghosting we had on the first versions of DLSS, but I think it will get solved as the technology matures. DLSS 3.5 is certainly a step in the right direction. Okay, so at 1440p ultra-wide with all the bells and whistles enabled and DLSS quality, I'm getting 59 FPS on average with my 4070 Ti, which is not bad, but you won't be maxing out your monitor's refresh rate. Okay guys, I've switched from DLSS quality to DLSS balance. The game looks the same as before. I really can't notice any difference at all. But you know what I do notice? A boost in FPS. The average is now 77 FPS, with 1% lows consistently above 60 FPS. The game definitely feels smoother now, and I can't notice any DLSS 3 input lag. Not that it was very noticeable when using DLSS quality, but it was there. The VRAM usage is also lower now as expected, but we weren't having any VRAM issues with DLSS quality. Let's compare side by side the differences between having ray reconstruction on and off. I'm not telling you guys which is on and off. If you can tell the difference, drop a comment below. Well, and believe it or not, there is a difference, and it's a big one. The default denoiser has some trouble generating a stable image in some circumstances. I've noticed it most on metallic surfaces and some reflections, like the ones on this car here, where you can see the reflection shimmering. DLSS 3.5 fixes all of the denoiser complaints I have, and another benefit of using ray reconstruction is that you get higher average FPS. Not by much though, but who doesn't love a free performance uplift while making the game look better? Well, now let's compare DLSS 3.5 with good old ray tracing. And I think that it's evident which is which here. The one with the denser lighting is path traced. I think that if I needed to explain path tracing, I would say exactly that. Fuller looking lighting. It's as if the light had volume, and when using traditional ray tracing, the light seems flatter. But yeah, normal ray tracing still looks incredible, and the performance with DLSS 3 and DLSS 2 is just great. I mean, 112 FPS on average with ray tracing enabled. That was a dream a few years ago. And now here I am with nearly 120 FPS. And I thought I was never going to say this, but ray tracing looks pale in comparison to path tracing. You can feel that something's off. It's hard to explain, but after testing the game for so long with path tracing on and off, you really can tell the difference. But how does no ray tracing versus path tracing compare? Well, now besides the lower density lighting thing that I've mentioned before, the light colors don't even seem correct. That's what basic ray tracing brings to the table. Light on surfaces are more accurate, and we've lost that too now. If you don't compare them side by side, you get used to not having ray tracing or path tracing though. And the game still looks great. I mean, heck, I'm sure we all played with worse settings when the game was launched, right? So I guess that's an indicator of how far DLSS technology has advanced in these few years. As you can see, the FPS aren't that much higher than when we had ray tracing on. Well, they are higher, but going from 112 to 137 FPS isn't that noticeable. Both will get you a high refresh rate experience, and some folks might not even notice a difference in smoothness with these performance levels. Now I'm testing the game with full path tracing and DLSS 3.5 enabled, but I'm using DLSS performance instead of balance. And I don't know about what you guys think, but the game looks just as good to me as it did when using DLSS balance. But the average FPS are now super high. I'm getting 95 FPS on average with everything turned on. I mean, the game feels really smooth. This level of performance feels like a dream come true, guys. And okay, So let's wrap up this video. Does DLSS 3.5 work? Yes, it does. It works really good, and you're even going to get extra performance by using it. Is it perfect? No, not at all. But it's a step in the right direction and produces a much more stable image than what we had with the previous denoiser. Once they fix the ghosting issues, DLSS 3.5 is going to be just as good as DLSS 2 and frame generation. So if you have a 4070 Ti or you're planning on getting one and want to go ultra wide, go for it. You're going to be getting 59 FPS on average using DLSS quality, 77 FPS using DLSS balanced, and 95 FPS if you decide to use DLSS performance. I'm personally going to go with DLSS performance because I can't notice any difference in image quality, and I like playing games in the 90 to 100 FPS range. I can't tell the difference in smoothness after those 100 FPS. And well guys, I think that does it for today. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. Oh, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys on the next one.